Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Wednesday, August 27th, 2008. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 p.m. in Bermuda. In Mexico City, it's 9:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, phone in from the U.S. toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX TV. On this day in history in 1883, the volcanic island of Krakatoa exploded in a cataclysm causing tidal waves that ended up claiming 36,000 lives on the Indonesian islands of Java and Sumatra. Also on this day in 1979, Lord Louis Mountbatten was killed when his boat exploded off the west coast of Ireland. The IRA claimed responsibility. Now we'll go to our news. The big news today is Tropical Storm Gustav. It stalled in the Caribbean early this morning. This is a day after hitting Haiti as a hurricane. The National Hurricane Center in Miami said the storm could regain hurricane strength later in the day or tomorrow as it moves away. If you look at our map there, you can see the red circle on the western side of Hispaniola, which is where Haiti is located. Again, to the right, you see a round tropical depression that has a 50% chance of developing into a hurricane. And all the way out to the Cape Verde Islands is a newly formed depression, currently with a 25% chance of developing into a tropical storm. But let's focus on Gustav now. The maximum sustained winds as of right now are about 60 miles per hour. It's about 80 miles west of Port-au-Prince, Haiti. It's expected to continue moving toward the west-northwest. Jamaica has issued a tropical storm warning today. A hurricane warning was issued for parts of Cuba, including the U.S. military base at Guantanamo Bay. After Haiti, Gustav is expected to sideswipe Cuba's southern coastline all week before entering into the central Gulf of Mexico on Sunday. A powerful storm in the Gulf could force shutdowns on the offshore rigs that account for a quarter of U.S. crude oil production and much of U.S. natural gas production. Royal Dutch Shell said that it could begin evacuating workers as soon as today. This, of course, has had an effect on crude oil prices. They've gone up now $1.16 U.S. to settle at about $116.27. So we'll certainly be keeping our eyes on that. The U.S. Commerce Department came out with some news this morning, a surprise announcement that U.S.-made durable goods, the orders for them have surged in July, rising 1.3% on strong transportation equipment demand. Economists surveyed by MarketWatch were looking for a gain in orders of only 0.2%. Now that the orders are up 1.3%, this is obviously good news. For July, shipments of manufactured goods rose 2.5%, following a gain of 0.9% in the prior month. The stock market seems to like it. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up about 45 points as we speak. In Dubai, police officials say that a fire in a building packed with mainly Indian foreign laborers has killed 11 people. The police official from Dubai's Criminal Investigations Department said that the blaze yesterday engulfed a house in the city's commercial district. He says up to 1,000 laborers were crammed into the 30-room building just behind the police station. The official, who spoke on condition of anonymity, says that the fire is under investigation. International rights organizations have long criticized appalling conditions and safety standards for foreign laborers, mainly Asians, who work in the oil-rich Gulf. Russian officials say a powerful earthquake has struck a Siberian region that includes Lake Baikal. No casualties were immediately reported. The magnitude 7.0 earthquake occurred about 10:35 a.m. local time today. Its epicenter was on the southern tip of Lake Baikal, west of the Siberian city of Irkutsk. Russian TV said that the quake caused thousands of frightened residents at apartment compounds and other buildings to run out into the streets. Also, there was a strong earthquake in central Peru that caused people to flee buildings in the jungle city of Pucallpa, but inflicted no major damage. USGS says, if you look at the orange square, that the quake had a magnitude of 6.3. Its epicenter was about 58 miles north of the capital of Ucayali province, which is Pucallpa. Residents of tall buildings in Pucallpa ran into the streets after the quake struck, but there were no immediate reports of injuries or deaths. Yesterday there was an airline hijacking. Officials say today that the two hijackers of the jetliner that took off from Sudan's Darfur region and was diverted to southern Libya have now surrendered. Sun Air spokesman, here is the plane, a Sun Air Boeing 737, say officials at the airport in Kufra, Libya, have informed them of the surrender of the hijackers. Officials say there were only two hijackers, but others may have slipped out with passengers released earlier. Hijackers commandeered the 737, which carried 95 passengers and crew yesterday afternoon, shortly after it took off from the Darfur city of Nyala. Yesterday we reported on a chemical explosion at a chemical factory in China. At that time 4 people had been killed or believed to be dead. Now more than a dozen have been killed and many more were injured. Toxic gas leaks resulting from the blast also forced thousands living around the city in Yuzhou City in Guangxi province to be evacuated. The Xinhua news agency puts the death toll now at 14. 6 people are still missing. We'll go to a word from our sponsors and come back with the rest of the news.
Every day, the world wakes up and goes to work, pursuing the unique opportunities that lead the global economy forward. The complexity and close connectivity of today's global marketplace is a true modern miracle that can create unparalleled success. But it takes confidence, passion, innovation, and understanding.
Enabling opportunity. Protecting capital.
Engineering innovation. Investing in your future.
Ensuring continuity.
Finding the right balance.
It takes Aon.
From prehistoric time to today, man's progress has been marked by his ability to fashion tools and use them to his advantage. From early humans making tools from stone, man evolved and was soon trading with other men. Money evolved, and tools such as the abacus to handle complex money transactions were developed. By the end of the 19th century, machines such as the cash register began to appear. 100 years later, we have even better computer-driven machines which track stock, change prices, and automatically reorder. Meanwhile, the reinsurance industry has failed to embrace man's drive for progress. The reinsurance industry today would be as familiar to practitioners from the 1800s as it is to modern underwriters. An underwriter or broker from 1800 would settle nicely into today's business. That is, until now. For the reinsurance industry, pivot point changes everything. Soon it will be understood that the period before pivot point was as dark as the caveman period was before the abacus. Come and see for yourself if you don't believe. After a demonstration, you will understand what is possible.
A programming note, we hope to have an interview with somebody of actual great importance on Friday, commenting on the Aon Benfield deal. Once we have the interview agreed to, we will be announcing it most likely tomorrow, but we expect to be showing that on Friday. Now some updates on the Spanish air crash. The Spain Air plane that crashed last week in Madrid, killing 154 people, apparently had landing gear trouble a month ago, this on a flight from Spain to Denmark. It had been forced to abandon a first attempt at takeoff. The Spain Air company acknowledged this news this morning. On July 26, the MD-82 was to fly from Palma on the Mediterranean island of Majorca to Copenhagen. As it taxied to the runway, the pilot heard a, quote, louder than usual noise coming from the front landing gear and returned to the gate. Mechanics worked on the plane for about half an hour, and then the plane took off without incident 44 minutes later. The incident was reported yesterday by a Danish newspaper and then carried this morning by Spanish newspapers. Spain Air did not make the incident public until these newspapers asked about it, because the company did not deem the case serious.